Hi, and welcome to my so-called Virgo life. This is your girl, Floetic Virgo. I'm coming to bring y'all a movie review of Imaginary. It's going to be short, sweet, and to the point because I feel like I don't want to give away no spoilers for those who may have come across my video and are interested in knowing about it without really knowing the details of the movie. So with that being said, do what you need to do, collect your popcorn, get you some wine, roll your blunt, and come on back, because it's movie review time. Okay, so Imaginary to me, from what I can remember, because it's been a while since I watched it, but I'm still gonna do a review about it. Is it's set to depict, memories of a possessed bear, in my opinion. The actress that plays the little girl grows up. She now has a family, albeit that it's not her kids, but it is her husband or boyfriend that has decided to move back into her childhood home. Now, upon moving into the childhood home, one or two things I observed when they moved in was immediately the tension in the house was heavy. It was no getting around it. Even she sensed the energy in the house was off, but she played it off because she was like, well, my childhood was here. Of course, she didn't remember anything that happened to her because of the possessed bear or whatnot. But you could tell the residual effects is written all over her father's face, which is now in a home, because at the beginning of the movie you will see him basically saving her at the expense of himself. So the little girl that pretty much finds the bear, because she was being nosy and she went in the basement and moved some stuff around. I don't know whether she heard voices telling her to do that or what have you, but whatever the case is, she found the bear, befriended the bear, and it went from her wanting to spend time with her stepmom to wanting to spend time with this bear. And just immediately the bear had her doing weird things. It started out small, started out very much innocent, very much playful, but then, as the movie go on, you'll notice a switch in her behavior and what the bear basically will have her doing. Of course, the little girl's sister, which is pretty much a tyrant to me, she's pretty much, I guess, feeling herself or smelling herself, as my mom would say, because she has a attitude, which, looking back, I could kind of understand, because she probably wanted her mom and dad to get back together, but that was not going to be the case. So later on, you'll find out that she had been secretly texting her mom or communicating with her mom about where they were, and somehow or another, I guess she must have gave her the address, but she ends up finding the house and scaring the mess out of, I want to say, this guy that the teenage daughter was basically crushing on or whatnot. But, after all that happened and transpired, it pretty much was understood that, yeah, you can't do that. That was not okay for anybody involved. Anybody could have got hurt or whatnot, because you don't really know your mom like that. You know of her, but you don't know her mental capabilities or whatnot. And of course, she was remorseful, but at the same time, she was still being nasty towards her stepmom or whatever. So, fast forwarding or whatnot, um, the bear is still having this little girl do crazy stuff. Now, not to mention, to me, this is my opinion, but the little girl kind of remind me of Drew Barrymore when she played in Firestarter. And if you don't know what Firestarter is, if you have Stars, I want to say it's on Stars app. And to me, that's the first thing I ever saw Drew Barrymore on, as far as acting is concerned. But I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about that. But go watch it; it's good. But yeah, the little girl remind me of her, and so what ends up happening, like, everybody's going about their business per usual. Of course, the dad is always the dad going off on a business trip when all this extra stuff ends up happening. It happened on The Conjuring, and it's happening on this movie. And pretty much he went on a business trip, and the moment he left the house, things just got hella weird. So the little girl, pretty much listening to the bear, decided that she wanted to go outside, find like a nail or a wooden plank with a nail in it, because this bear, the whole movie, this bear has her doing scavenger hunts or something like that, to where if she completed, he could come into fruition. So the whole time she outside looking for a wooden plank with a nail in it, the stepmom is in the house talking to who she believes to be the little girl in the bed. But she quickly realizes that, she's not talking to her. She looks out the window to see the little girl, messing with the fence, pulling wood off the fence. Pull back the cover, there's the bear. Creepy as hell. Creepy. So it's like, she, of course, stopped her from slamming her hand on the nail to hurt herself just in the nick of time. It was like, she was like seconds away from hurting herself. And what ends up happening is, she contacts a psychiatrist because she's like, something's not right. I don't know what's going on. And so through the little girl having her session or whatever, she's talking about, she's speaking all her feelings out, and like she's talking to the bear and things like that. And what ends up being apparent, because of course the movie is called Imaginary, is when she talked to the psychiatrist, she's basically talking about the bear, and the psychiatrist is like, what bear? Now this is where the plot twist happens, because she's like looking at her like she's weird. Why you're being weird to me? Like, she's not weird, but she's the only one who could see the bear. Of course the little girl could see the bear, because the bear needed to, like Freddy Krueger said on Freddy vs. Jason, it needed to be seen to get power to basically do whatever it needs to get this little girl to unlock the door to let him into their world or whatnot. But it quickly goes crazy from there, because she's like, hold on, I know I saw her with this bear. I know I seen a brown bear or whatever the case may be. And she asked the teenage daughter about it. And of course the teenage daughter is like, no, it's imaginary. Of course, you think you saw it or whatnot, but not, it's an imaginary, friend. So one thing I failed to mention early on in this review is when they moved into the house, they have a creepy neighbor. Now, the creepy neighbor kind of gave me Lovely Bones vibe. If you've never seen that movie, watch that movie as well. But she was like very much weird, very much watching their house. Pretty much trying to tell them like, yeah, some weird things happen in the house. Telling the lady about her childhood, like, yeah, I used to babysit you, and you told me about some things that happened in the basement, but I didn't believe you until one night. I couldn't find you. Just watch the movie. It'll make sense. But yeah, so later on in the movie, while they're looking for the little girl, because the sister was supposed to be watching the little girl. Of course, she left the little girl alone because she either was like talking to the guy next door or something along those lines. But when you watch the movie, you'll see. But now they're looking for the little girl. They don't know where she is. Her and the stepmom get into it, and she's pretty much blaming the mom, and the stepmom is blaming her because she was supposed to be babysitting the sister or whatnot. So, long story short, they found out that the sister had went to the basement. They found this magical door or whatnot that they needed to do something, do the scavenger hunt to make sure that they could get to the sister, because that's the only way that they could get in. So the same route that the sister took with the scavenger hunt, the mom had to do, because she started the scavenger hunt when she was little, but she never completed it. So they completed it. They went in, the three of them, stepmom, the sister, and the neighbor, which she's a weirdo. You'll find out why. But yeah, she was just a total weirdo from the time they got to the magical place. And the mom and the sister is pretty much spending that time, looking for the little sister, the daughter, or whatever. And all the neighbor could talk about is like, oh my God, they said this place existed, but I never thought. And she just went into this tangent, very manic, very creepy. I knew from the moment that they got there that she was going to do something crazy to kind of throw everything off, because you can't really bring everybody with you when you're trying to handle business. And she was just one of those type of people that I wish they just would have left at her house, like let her stay at her house. But throughout the time that they in this magical place, they encountered several things, and several things transpired. I'm not gonna give away too much, but let's just say the creepy neighbor did not make it out with them by the time they found the little girl and whatnot, because she wanted to go sightseeing and looking in several doors, and it was well deserved the way she ended up. I'll put it like that. So by the end of the movie, because it's like I don't want to tell the most intricate parts of what happens while they in this magical place. I call it Alice in Wonderland, upside down land, or whatever. But while they down there, what ends up happening is, they find the little girl. The little girl is fine or whatnot. She's under the spell of the place, of course, because she's getting everything that she wants or wanted. And by the end of the movie, they learn to appreciate each other more. I'll put it like that. And stuff like that will make you appreciate the people closest to you, but it's also sad that it takes life-changing events to make you appreciate people like that. Now, what I took away from the movie, the whole entire movie in itself, is sometimes it's better to leave some things alone, because even though she had pretty much hesitance about moving back into her childhood home, she fought against that gut feeling. And I feel as though when you have a gut feeling about something, you should follow it. It's not too often that your gut is wrong, unless you're going through something and it's pretty much combating against what it is that you're feeling. Also, I feel like when children tell you something, and I'm a big advocate for this, when children tell you something, you need to listen to them, because the signs was there. The signs was there, and the little girl kept saying, oh yeah, I'm doing this scavenger hunt and I need this, and you can't play, and like, why can't I play? Now, early on you was like, oh, play with me, whatever, woo, woo. Now you done found this imaginary friend and he doesn't want you to play with me or don't even to play with you or whatever the case may be, it's like certain things like that you kind of have to pay attention to. Not saying that you have to hover the whole time, but in the history of real life events, not saying that this movie is inspired by a true story or nothing, but it has plenty of movies where some things was inspired by true events or it was based on a true story, where the kid tried to tell the parents something and the parents was like, oh, you being, dramatic, go play, or nothing's under your bed, nothing's in your closet, nothing's, why are you talking to yourself? Why are you doing this? Pay attention. And more than anything that I could give, like advice that I could give just from watching this movie, is sometimes it's just good to always keep your loved ones on a swivel. Like, keep the door open mentally for them. Because sometimes, kids, especially if you engulfed in your work or relationship or whatever the case may be, kids will find other ways to entertain themselves. And sometimes, not always, entities be waiting to prey upon them because they know they yearning for that connection, they yearning for somebody to show them attention, and of course they come in any form that will make children comfortable. But I'm not about to go on a long speech about that. But if you like the review for the Imaginary or Imagination or whatever the fuck the movie is called, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment down below. If y'all have any more movies, like I said when I did the review for Divorced in the Black and The Deliverance, if y'all have any reviews that y'all want me to do on a movie, on a TV show, comment them down below, and I promise to get them out as soon as I can. Now, I will say this, I done pretty much came up with a good schedule for myself. So, if you're ever looking for my reviews, or even if I decide to do like a little chat or whatnot, like a random video or whatever, it will be posted on Friday. So you won't be, because I know sometimes YouTube don't really send out notifications like that, and I'm a little channel. I don't, I do what I do and then I get out because, that's just me. But yeah, every Friday on this channel, I will be posting content. And I also have a podcast channel called Raven Random Rants Podcast. You'll know it's the channel because it's a picture of a neon African American woman with headphones on or whatnot. When all else fails, I make sure I put them in the link in the description. I cannot talk. I need to stop smoking before I do these videos. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm about to get off of here because I feel myself rambling. So make sure y'all have a good night. Make sure you pray before you lay. And good night.